Ever wondered what happens when a level 1 Togepi takes down the level 55 Kyurem? Hello YouTube! Are you tired of leveling up? Do you hate fighting Pidgeys, flexing on Gen 5 Rattatas, and still end up losing? Say no more, because in this channel we skip all of that and jump straight to the losing part. Welcome to my Pokemon White 2 Challenge Mode Level 1 Only Challenge. That was a mouthful. Our only rule is to never use any cheats. I caught those. Seriously though, the only Pokemon I couldn't get was the Durant, because I'm using its hidden ability and I believe you can't get it anymore without Wi-Fi. But correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Now that you've met my team, see this trash can right here? By the time I'm done with this challenge, it will no longer be empty, because I'll be joining in. Of course, the game doesn't really start until we get the running shoes. We dodge trainers, not waste time, take out thing number 1 and thing number 2 before challenging our first gym leader. Time to break down my strategy. Alright, I start with my level 1 Durant that only knows one move. But if you're familiar with my challenges, looks can be deceiving. The only move I have is Entrainment, which is a move that changes the enemy's ability to match my own. This Durant has the hidden ability Truant. Yup, he's an absolute potato. And thanks to Entrainment, so is the enemy. I usually give Durant Bright Powder and wait for the enemy to miss. But this one starts with Workup, so I didn't have to wait for it to miss this time. However, once the enemy does miss, the battle is already won. They just don't know it yet. Pretty cool, huh? For the next turn, I switch to Togepi. That has nothing to do with anything. I only do that on the first Pokemon so I can use Endeavor, just to force out his one healing item and save my power points. As the enemy heals, I will switch to my actual second Pokemon, Deerling. Someone might ask, okay, the enemy Pokemon can only attack after every other turn, but how did that win you the fight, dumbass? Well, I'm glad you asked, imaginary person. First of all, don't call me a dumbass. And second, I'm going to switch to Bambi over here, but unlike the Disney movie, this one has a happy ending. Every Pokemon I use from here on out knows Protect. This way I can use it on the enemy's attacking turn, while going for other moves myself on their non-attacking turns. So even though the enemy can still attack, they will never actually hit me. I then use Leech Seed to take the opponent's health down gradually. Leech Seed should take the opponent down in at least 8 turns, and you can think of it as 4 turns in this case, because half the time they won't be able to do anything. Once I'm done with Deerling, I switch back to Togepi on a non-attacking turn, and until the opponent goes down, I will only go for Protect and Substitute, up until the second last turn. This is when I baton pass with my Substitute up, back to Durant. Now this is really important. The strategy can work fine with any Pokemon, but without having a guaranteed way to repeat this whole cycle over and over with each Pokemon sent out, it will never work. Now that I can baton pass to Durant, I can survive the next Pokemon's first attack and then use Entrainment once again. This will allow me to repeat this all over. A few things to note here. First, the enemy only heals once in this game, even in challenge mode, so the one healing item I got rid of with Togepi was the only one he had. Second, this strategy works the same way no matter what level your enemy's at. So a level 1 Pokemon is the same as a level 100. In fact, it gets better with stronger enemies since Leech Seed heals me to full and Endeavor always gets them to red health. Third, I still don't have a cheat code for a no XP multiplier, so I have to reset my experience after each battle. If you know a cheat code for it, feel free to share it on my Discord, link is in the comments. On the last Pokemon, I take them down faster with Endeavor, because I don't care about switching back to Durant. Again, as the enemy gets stronger, this will always end up in killing them on the same turn. So basically, once I reach the last Pokemon, I can almost take them down in one turn. This plan is looking good so far, and I can keep on doing that forever, right? Well, yes, but no. There's one problem that you might not catch at first. Let's go over this again and see what goes wrong with this strategy. The way I deal damage to the enemy is by using Leech Seed or Will-O-Wisp versus Grass types. Remember when I said that Leech Seed can take the enemy down in at least 8 turns? Well, that is the problem right there. At least. Leech Seed deals 1/8 of the opponent's max HP every turn. However, this doesn't guarantee that they die in exactly 8 turns, because based on the HP pool, they might take longer. Basically, the Pokemon can die in an even or an odd number of turns. To keep things simple, I'm going to refer to that as odd max HP and even max HP, even though it's not really accurate. So, why is that a problem? Because on the enemy's last turn, I have to baton pass to Durant, but it's not just that, it has to be on the enemy's non-attacking turn. If I don't swap on the last turn, the next turn Togepi dies, and I lose the battle. If I swap on the enemy's attacking turn, this will leave me just as dead, because my substitute will be down, and on his next Pokemon, I won't survive his attack. Let me show you what happens in both cases, to make it more clear. Right now, everything aligns perfectly if the enemy dies in odd turns. It's when they die in even turns is when the turns do not align, and the problem shows up. Roxy's Whirlipede dies in even turns, and if I do things the normal way, I die. I have to admit, it took me an embarrassing amount of time to find a solution when it was as easy as noticing a pattern. If I can somehow alternate his attacking and non-attacking turns. There are a couple of ways to do that, including putting the enemy to sleep. But that's too random because I can't control it, so I go for something else. With Deerling, I normally use Protect and then use Leech Seed on his non-attacking turn, because it's safe. See this right here? The next turn is his non-attacking turn, and the turn where I need to swap. But he's not going to die next turn. He still has too much health for that, and too little health to last 3 more turns. But what if I make a small adjustment and used Leech Seed on his attacking turn instead of a non-attacking turn? To do this, I will need to use Substitute after Protect, so that the turn after I can use Leech Seed and survive his attack. This way everything goes as planned. By the way, did you know if you used Rollout with Truant, you will only hit once? Someone should give that to Whitney's Miltank. Now that I figured out an easy way to take down the enemy, we can beat them faster, which means shorter video, and you get to move on to watch an actually talented YouTuber. All I need to do is find out who in the opponent's team die in odd turns and who dies in even turns. Some of you might think this is going to be difficult. Some of you are correct. I always assume the enemy dies in odd turns, and for each Pokemon that dies in even turns, I reset the battle. Fun times. Now that we cleared that out, for those of you who didn't turn off the video, let's continue with our challenge, because we have exciting things to cover. I beat the second gym, get hired as an actor for my personality, but with all that behind us, we get ready for the next town, and I am optimistic that only good things are coming our way. I don't need this badge. Next is Elsa. In challenge mode, she has 4 Pokemon instead of 3, but still only 1 annoying Emolga. Elsa took the longest time to get the battle starting, but it was one of the easiest because all of her Pokemon had odd health. So once she missed her attack, she lost on the same battle. I don't know why that is, but most of the enemy's Pokemon go down in odd turns. I noticed the same thing in my single level 5 Ghastly challenge, so I'm not sure if it was random or not. Here's another thing you should learn about this strategy. In most cases, the opponent's healing item doesn't change anything in my decisions, because it's not about their current HP, it's about their max HP. So this makes it easier for me since it's more consistent. Because no matter what health they are at, the damage they take will always scale with their max HP, and that never changes throughout the battle. So as long as I know if they die in even or odd turns, that is all that matters. This also includes any healing source. One of the things they changed in challenge mode is that almost every Pokemon has a health item. In the early game, most of these items are healing berries. Soon, however, they're going to get a different health item that will force me to change how I do things a little bit. But that's a problem for later. We take Elsa down with my level 1 team. Thank you, thank you. Ah, please, stop it you. Alright, keep it going. Next part is the triple battle. We head to a section with too much of a crowd, too many kids, and too many Pokemon. But, thanks to Purse Song and Protect, we're able to last long enough to die happily all together. Togepi got 4 Protects in a row, which is something that would never happen to me if I actually needed it. But we win our first triple battle thanks to one terrible vocal cord. Thank you, thank you. Ah, please stop. Okay, that's enough, I have a video to make. After killing all of us, we decline the Zorua, and then move along to humiliate the next gym leader. Speaking of legendary Pokemon, would you guys like me to do a level 1 challenge, but with legendary only? Tell me if that's something you would like to watch, or if I should just stick to normal Pokemon when I do the level 1 challenges. Clay also has 4 Pokemon in challenge mode, but the main problem is that he has 2 even health Pokemon, Onix and Sandslash. So I have to watch out for that. This means when I bring out Deerling, I will go for Substitute, and on their attacking turn, I'll go for Leech Seed. I tried using different strategies to take the enemy down. That was before I figured out an easy solution for the even and odd turn problem. Things like using Purse Song or Curse so that I don't have to worry about their typings. And while all of that sound good in theory, they wouldn't actually work. Curse takes the opponent down too fast, I won't get a chance to do anything. And Purse Song is not flexible enough because the enemy dies in 3 turns. So I don't have any room to adapt against even and odd turn Pokemon. Thankfully, none of that was really needed, and Leech Seed with Will-O-Wisp has pretty much all Pokemon covered. As I kept using this strategy, I started getting better at telling if the enemy dies in odd or even turns, based on their HP. It is very subtle and not easy to tell, but you can notice a slight difference. This doesn't actually change anything, because by the time it starts taking damage, I had already decided the pattern it will go for. But it at least saved me time since I would reset sooner. You would think there would be a guide out there that tells you their HP, but I guess it's not easy to find out, or it wouldn't really matter with a normal person doing a normal challenge. Last Pokemon is his Excadrill, but because it's his last, I don't care if it dies in odd or even turns, I'm taking it down with Endeavor. But if I had to guess from the HP drop, it was odd. Talk about useless superpowers. I would never waste my time with a Deerling. We meet the professor for the first time, and she gives us a Master Ball followed by a Lucky Egg. I should definitely invite her to my birthday. Skyla's next, and guess how many Pokemon she has? Good news, her first 3 Pokemon all go down on odd turns, so no resets were required. I love when that happens. By the way, I didn't want to show the World Tournament because I don't think people were interested in it in my Pokemon Black 2 Level 1 Shedinja challenge, so I decided to skip it this time. But aside from having to get lucky with each start, they weren't that bad. We managed to take down her first 3 Pokemon until we reach her Sigilif with the ability Magic Guard. Which is a problem because I can't deal damage to it with Leech Seed, right? Wrong, it has Truant now, who cares about its previous ability? Sucks to be them. They should have used level 1 Pokemon like I do. We take her down, and now we have 6 badges. Things start to get serious at this point, because there is a plane. And if I know my James Bond movies, shit's about to go down. Okay, I was completely wrong. Next is Draydon, and guess how many Pokemon he has? 2 of his Pokemon have healing berries, but that doesn't change anything, and now that the enemy Pokemon are starting to exceed level 50, Endeavor and Leech Seed are at their best. I'm not sure if I'm getting better at finding the AI's weaknesses, or if it's something with Gen 5, but my last 2 level 1 only challenges weren't as difficult as the other ones. Well, not as difficult as a level 1 challenge should be, let's put it that way. From the way his HP was going down, I thought Altaria had even max HP, but luckily that wasn't the case, and he lived on 1 HP, so the cycle continued. In fact, none of his Pokemon went down in even turns, and it feels great when I take down the gym leader on the first attempt. I gotta say, Gen 5 has been treating me really nice, but that's about to change really soon. We take Draydon down, and now we have 7 badges. Things start to get serious at this point, because there's a flying ship, and if I know my Star Wars movies, shit's about to go down. He tried. Next is Marlin. Only 1 even Pokemon, his Wailord. I wanted to do my intro with his Wailord instead of Kyurem, but I figured everyone likes a DNA mutated legendary. With all of his remaining Pokemon dying in odd turns, the fight is as good as over. I just have to make sure I don't mess up. I'm getting used to the strategy by now, I rarely make any mistakes. Except one. I always forget and switch normally instead of by baton passing. On a positive note, if I happen to miss Leech Seed or any other attack, it won't be a problem. I'll just wait 1 turn and then go for it again the turn after. Not all strategies are that forgiving. Endeavor won't affect his last Pokemon, Jellicent, because it's part Ghost, so I had to wait for it to go down to Leech Seed. A guaranteed win nevertheless, so I didn't mind waiting a few more turns. After we take him down, oh look, Togepi's happiness is so high, it evolved. At level 2. It was kinda cute at first, until I realized it will evolve after each battle, so that was a waste of time. I don't like that. One final battle before the Elite Four. I have to admit, I don't like Gatsas' theme music, but his angry battle entrance is really cool. Gatsas had a few issues. He starts with Cophagus. That's a ghost Pokemon, so I can't take him down faster with Endeavor. But it gets worse, because he has leftovers as his held item. Remember when I told you it gets worse with the held items? And Gatsas won't be the last, so I had to use Leech Seed and get him burned with Will-O-Wisp. You haven't seen me use my Flareon yet, but against grass Pokemon, I used Will-O-Wisp instead. In this battle, I used both. I have to get him burned second, because Gatsas heals with full restore, so I had to keep Flareon up until I get him burned once again. Flareon also learns Baton Pass like the rest, so I can use him to switch to Durant. Old Togepi, Deerling, and Flareon have Protect, Substitute, and Baton Pass. It's only the last move that is different. Now, the problem with using Will-O-Wisp and Leech Seed is that it changes the pattern and turn order, so I had to play around in order to find out the best time to use my attacks, in order to switch back to Durant in time. The rest, however, was easy. I was worried because I still had to scout which of his Pokemon die in even turns, and each time I'll have to do that all over again, but I was really lucky and they all died at odd turns. I love Gen 5. Stop evolving! We defeat the bad guys, everyone flies with their fancy Pokemon / ninja, and I get stuck with huge Ackman over here. I wanted to start the Elite Four from easiest to hardest, but honestly, none of the Elite Four members were easy, which I did not expect. It was mostly because of the items they hold in challenge mode. Let's start with Chantal. She starts with Cophagus. This has the exact same issues as our last battle with Gatsas. He's a ghost Pokemon, it gets healed, and has leftovers. So all of these factors along with 2 status conditions, I had no idea what is going on in terms of turn order and my usual pattern. I was praying I get it at this point. One thing I should point out is that even though all her Pokemon are ghost, and even though entrainment is normal type, it will still land, just like how Destiny Bond and Curse would land on a normal Pokemon. I got unnecessarily worried against her Golark because I thought it had Curse. I don't know why, but I could have sworn she had it. And I don't really know how I would have dealt with it, because even if he used it early to give me time to swap, he lowers his health to half, so that ruins everything for me. I guess what I'm trying to say is, thank God she didn't have it. Since I can't use Endeavor on her last Pokemon, I thought I would get it burned as well. Well, I tried at least, because I fail and only get her on the last turn. No! Next is Marshall. First problem with Marshall is that his first Pokemon, Thra, also has leftovers. I'm starting to hate this item, so I need to get it burned as well as use Leech Seed. So this once again ruins my pattern, and it turns out I need to get him burned on an attacking move. Otherwise he dies too fast, and I don't get a chance to switch to Durant. It gets worse because of his Mienshao. This moron keeps on going for high jump kick, so whenever it misses because of Protect, it ends up high-fiving the wall with its face, losing more HP, and ruining the pattern I normally go for. I mean, I like taking advantage of the AI's shortcomings, but that's just too much for me to track. In order to get around this, I had to save him from his own stupidity. You know, until I kill him that is, and let him attack me. So instead of Protect, I keep going for Substitute. That did solve it, but sometimes he would normally go for U-turn, which also breaks the pattern, and I had to reset. So anyways, that was not fun. Imagine being so bad, you have to take it easy on them with your level 1 Pokemon, so that they don't die too soon. After taking down his first 2 Pokemon, the rest was easy. One Pokemon already burns himself, I didn't have to do that, that was all him. And the last one goes down to Endeavor. And with that, Marshall is down. That was not one of my Togepis. It was both of them. Grimsley has the most unique start in this challenge. I don't know why Fake Out wouldn't fail. I know it's a 100% accurate move, so technically it should have had a chance to fail, although it never did. I got tired of resetting, so I tried sacrificing my second Togepi first, maybe I would have better luck. And on the first time I tried this, he missed. So I don't know how to feel about that. Of course I lost that battle because he had a few surprises I did not expect. His Crafty dies in even turns and has leftovers. And this time, the Pokemon holding leftovers is not his first Pokemon. I had to reset a few times to make this one work. Once again, with 2 status conditions and leftovers recovery, it was hard to keep track of what is going on, and I would just brute force him. His last Pokemon, Bisharp, also dies in even turns. Imagine resetting after all of that. I take back everything nice I said about Gen 5. One last Elite Four member remaining. No! Caitlyn is next, and I do regret waking her up. Skipping to her Rio necklace, this one has leftovers and dies in even turns. So again, I'm completely out of my comfort zone, and I will need to shut down my autopilot mode and start focusing. I later learned that, in cases like this, I only need to get one of the status moves on his attacking turn, so either Leech Seed or Will-O-Wisp. If I do both, I actually cancel the effect of switching the turns around. Of course I calculated all of that in my big brain, and I didn't have to do that mistake at all. Don't say anything. Ever seen a Rio necklace with the ability Magic Guard take damage from Leech Seed and Will-O-Wisp? You're welcome. Her Metagross is also a problem. He dies in even turns, so that's a complimentary reset on the house. But you see this damage he takes here? This is from Bullet Punch, and I had to let him attack me one more time to adjust his health to exactly what I want. That's why I switch with Baton Pass from Deerling to Togepi, because I switch on an attacking turn. The rest goes down as expected, and we take down the rest of the team. No! We've made it all the way to the champion. Are you guys ready? Cause I'm not. Alright, time to put what we've been through to the test one last time. Fun fact, Iris was the first trainer that I challenged with this strategy, so before I even knew I can make it this far. I didn't play Pokemon White 2 a lot, and the only saved file I had was my protagonist staring right at her, so I took it as a sign. The thing is, most of my strategies don't start this way. I have to improve on them to find the best way to make them work. And this planning phase can be different based on each game's AI and behavior. Another fun fact, when I did challenge her during that planning phase, I was not able to defeat her, so this is payback for me. Now, is this the toughest challenge I've ever done? No. Is Iris the toughest trainer in this challenge? Yes. Will this battle be challenging? Definitely. Hotel Trivago. Scratch that. I start off by entraining Hydreigon to one of the worst abilities she will ever have. Then I switch to Togepi to lower her HP faster, just to get her healing item out of the way. Okay, good news. Even though Iris has a full team, she doesn't have a Pokemon with leftovers, so we have that going for us. But not all her Pokemon die in odd turns, so not only do I have to scout which of her Pokemon die in even turns, but I need to keep them in mind throughout the battle. Also, just like everyone else, she will only heal once, even in challenge mode, and her healing item is full restore. Once I get that out of the way, I use the free turn to switch to Deerling as she heals. Now this is important. I have to remember that after she heals it, it will attack the turn after, so I still have to go for Protect. Keeping track of her attacking and non-attacking turns is obviously really important. I will stick with Deerling instead of swapping back to Togepi in order to manage my power points. Against a full team, I have to watch out for that. If you watch my no moves challenge, you know that I can skip a turn by throwing a Pokeball, but the problem with that is it actually skips a turn. So if I go for Protect and then throw a Pokeball, when I go back to using Protect, it will have a 50% chance of failing, as if I just used it last turn, so that won't help me in this challenge. Hydreigon dies in odd turns, so everything goes well with him, and I managed to switch back to Durant with Substitute up and on a non-attacking turn. Those 3 conditions are what I'm always after in order to keep this going. Hydreigon is down, next is her Draydon. And just from her second Pokemon, I can automatically lose the battle if she decides to go for the wrong move. Luckily, she goes for Fire Punch. So what was the move I was worried about? Outrage. Yup, never underestimate the AI's stupidity. This moron can go for Outrage, causing itself to get confused. Plus, she has Life Orb, so that didn't really help. I like to keep track of the turns and the enemy's health, but if they start attacking themselves in confusion, there is no way for me to do that. It is just too random, and I can't tell how many times they attack themselves, or how long they will be confused for. So as I take down my opponents, I have to babysit them to prevent them from dying too fast, which you wouldn't normally consider when you're the one with the level 1 Pokemon. Draydon is no longer a threat, since I don't give him a chance to land an attack thanks to Protect, even if she decides to go for Outrage again. So it was only the first few turns. Now I just need to make sure I don't mess up. Luckily things are going well so far. I try to make my decisions as fast as I can during the full battle, because unlike Iris's Pokemon, I don't want them to drag on for too long. So you're welcome. I want to apologize for the FPS drops that happened earlier. It will only happen that one time. My laptop is terrible, I know. One of the reasons I can't do too many Gen 6 and Gen 7 challenges. But if I win this, I believe I would have done a level 1 challenge for each generation, except for Gen 3. I should consider that. Next is Aggron, a bit of a breathing room. He dies in odd turns, so my turn order is the same, starting with Durant's entrainment. And just to go over the turn order one more time, Deerling always goes second after Durant, unless the enemy is grass type. I block the incoming attack with Protect, then go for Reseed, followed by another Protect. Now I'm safe to swap to Togepi. If the enemy has even health, I'll have to do that differently, as you will see on her next Pokemon. Once Togepi is out, I only switch between Protect and Substitute, because I like to keep things consistent and my power points can last that long. On the last turn, I baton pass to Durant, as Aggron dies to the last Leech Seed damage. Substitute is also important because I have to keep Durant alive when the next Pokemon attack me. Now that that's clear, let's see how things go with her next Pokemon, Lapras. Lapras dies in even turns. If I use the same strategy I just explained, it will die before I get a chance to swap, and I will be left with a half-hatched egg hidden behind the substitute doll. Exactly 7 turns after, and I will be blacked out. And that's no good. So what do I do with someone like Lapras? The trick is with Deerling. After I give Lapras Truant, I go for Deerling, use Protect, followed by Substitute, not Leech Seed. And on the 3rd turn, I will go for Leech Seed as he attacks and breaks myself. Once again, it all depends on him dying on a non-attacking move, so if I can align that from the beginning, it should be straightforward. I will admit it took me a while to come up with an easy answer because I didn't think of it that way, but I'm glad I did, and since no one can prove otherwise, I did all that on my first try. Now that I know her Lapras will die on the turn I have in mind, I continue with my Togepi normally. Notice how close it gets. I've done this several times throughout the challenge, and I still doubt myself when it comes to the last turn. Four Pokemon is down. Next is her Archaeops, and even though it's not her last Pokemon, it is the last one I will need to follow this pattern with. Archaeops dies in odd turns, so I'm back to my comfort zone. He doesn't have any moves that I'm worried about, so once again, it's all up to me not to miss my turn pattern. Once again, if I miss an attack, I can simply go for it again after I use Protect. So right now, it's the battle of my stupidity versus the AI's, which will be triggered first. Notice that Archaeops will live on 1 HP. just as planned. One final baton pass to Durant as she brings out her Haxorus, which I believe she brings out last no matter what, but don't quote me on this though. I just happen to have it that way every time. With Haxorus, I don't need to wait for it to go down to Leech Seed. In fact, once I've landed Entrainment, I knew the battle was over for her. Now I'll go for Leech Seed, wait for a free turn to switch to Togepi, in order to go for Endeavor. However, to finish this, I still need one more Protect, so I had to use my second Togepi because the first one ran out of power points. Although I could have used Substitute and Baton Pass to my first Togepi, but no need to complicate things when I have another one. With that, we defeat another game with only level 1 Pokemon. I have a different kind of challenge in mind that I plan on trying, not sure if it's possible or not yet, so I won't share too many details about it. I will however share that I still need people to join in order to start a challenge that I plan on doing with my viewers. We still need at least 4 people, so if you want to be part of my challenge, feel free to join my Discord where you can find all the details. Link is in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this challenge, and see you guys next time.